Broadcasting live from sunny South Florida and the best way to start your Saturday. This is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. And now your KMA crew. The man with the scoop, William Cooper. Alex the Goat Tavella. And always telling it like it is, Honest Abe Dababneh.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill. Like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning to all our loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. We are broadcasting live KMA episode number 614. And as always, I'm here with my trusted KMA crew, the man we like to call the GOAT, Alex Tavella, our dear friend, always bringing us news, industry news, always teaser and rumor-free, William the Scoop Cooper. And joining us today from north of the border, our friend, the man they call the surgeon, John McTavish. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is early morning.
Beautiful sunny morning in Vegas, huh?
Sunny morning in Vegas. Yeah, I'm here in Las Vegas. We have a special guest today on, and I scheduled this without realizing I wasn't going to be in town. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. So I
figured you must have not realized it.
Yeah, I didn't realize. So yeah, especially compelled. And normally I'm not that bad in Vegas. I don't like stay out like extremely late or.
No, but still, it's 7 a.m. It's either way.
7 a.m., yeah.
For whatever reason, this is the least amount of sleep I've ever had on a Vegas trip, including the trade show. It's been a fun week, but exhaustingly tired. But good stuff. As always, obviously, I'm not lighting up because I'm in a hotel room. But I sent you guys, John, I didn't send you any. There's a little thing called customs that poses a little bit of a problem sometimes, but all right, we're having a guest today. He'll be on after our little interview here, intro here, from Vega Cigars. Now, this is what I would be smoking, or I will be smoking later on this afternoon. What are you guys lighting up?
I'm doing the same. I figured I'd start with the Primo, right? That makes some sense. So I'm going to light up the Primo.
Yeah, I got the El Segundo. I smoked a couple before I came, and then I bought the last couple here. He sent us a nice little variety pack. Alex, did you get yours?
Yeah, I got mine. I'm finishing up a Wawa coffee, and I'm going to roll into it. It looks to appear like a Connecticut, I believe. It looks like Vega number 40. So I'm going to give that a try.
We'll find out. See what some of our guys out there are smoking today. There we go. So anyways, a couple things before we start the show. First off, we started talking about it before the break while we're in the green room. And I really didn't get up into it too much, but we saw No Doubt at the Sphere last night. It was our first time being inside the Sphere. If I tell you, walking into it, first off, is really, really cool. But, at first when you're walking in, you're thinking you're walking into like a jumbo IMAX theater. Like it's just screen all the way around. And when the show started, my jaw literally fucking opened. And here's the interesting thing, because it's the first concert I've seen this year. So I don't know how the technology works. I don't know it's complete wraparound, but everything appears to be 3D.
Yep.
It's not like you're just watching a screen, man. It's like 3D.
You're experiencing it. You're not watching.
Yeah. So like they had this big like graffiti wall of No Doubt and their whole history, and it was kind of cool to walk in. And then the opening scene, a huge hand, Gwen Stefani's hand comes crashing through the scene with an orange, and you're like, what the fuck? And then she turns the orange, and there's like a wormhole in it, and then it takes you into a wormhole, and then like you're doing this whole fucking ride. Upsides and downsides of the show. It's the most amazing shit you'll ever see. And here's the thing I don't know, which made the show really cool, which doesn't make it. I really like to know if somebody's seen another show there, because No Doubt went through a lot of recording. They had to make a lot of recordings prior to doing their concert to make this interactive.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So while they're on the stage, they shot some shit that was on the big screen that obviously they shot before the concert.
Yeah.
And then there was some cool moments where they were talking to each other, and they were probably doing a change of wardrobe, and you don't even notice they left the stage, right? but you're seldom looking down at the stage. So it's almost like you're not going to a live concert. I mean, don't get me wrong. Even when you're a live concert, they usually have the big screen or whatever, but right. Kind of, you're always, the stage is always an eye view, even the screen's usually behind the band, And
but they're playing live.
Yeah, they're playing live.
They're not playing over track. They're playing live.
Yeah, they're playing live. Absolutely. And you just seldom look down. There's so much fucking going on.
And there's seats, right, Abe? Like you're sitting down.
So it's a very steep incline. So we were on the second level. Which I heard was really good because you kind of like center ball.
Almost like above the glass in hockey, probably.
Yeah. And
I was gonna say like a hockey stadium where it's real.
Gonna be right above the glass.
And we were like second row from that level. But let me tell you something, man. When I got toward the row of my seats, it's like whoa, it's like a cliff looking down. Like
yeah.
It's a very steep seating area, seating in there, and it goes way up. I mean, you don't think of it from the outside, but man, I felt like guys were on top of the Rocky Mountains sitting up at the top. It is huge, and the whole thing wraps all the way around, and it really was a mind-blowing concert. I don't know how you would like enjoy a concert somebody else after that, but because everything that's going on the stage is literally, and the quality of the picture, like it's crazy. It's all blown up in front of you. So why are you going to look down and look at somebody this big, Yeah. So you lose the whole kind of staging effects. I mean, if they had lighting and shit, there's no need for any fucking stage effects or anything. I mean, you could just put them on the fucking concrete floor and have them do a concert. No one's going to give a shit. But I'm kind of sad I waited this long. It was a great show. And it was a great show. She was great. Let me tell you something. That girl hasn't aged a day.
Right?
I don't know what the fuck she's doing. She is the Dick Clark of fucking female rock stars. But let me just tell you something. Let me just tell you something. Because during those clips, they play the videos. Because some of them, they played videos back, 20, 30 years ago when they were young. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, here's another, vintage video. And then I'm looking at all the other guys with gray hair. I'm like, holy fuck, that's today. She looks amazing.
She aged very well.
Amazing. And full of energy. I'm not sure how old she is.
56.
Okay,
wow.
Yeah, she's great for 56, yeah.
Down there running up and down the stage all fucking night long. And very interactive with the crowd. Talked with the crowd all night long. It was a good show. It was my wife and my daughters are huge fans. I've listened to them, but it was a good show, and she
worth every penny.
Worth every penny, and she put on a great performance. She really did. She really put on a great performance for her fans. So that was a good show. The other quick thing I want to bring up before we bring up our guests. So I got messaged last night by one of our industry friends, and he didn't know I was away on a trip, and we started talking. And I guess the big smoke was in Florida this weekend, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yesterday, yep.
So our dear friend Anthony Mackie happens to be there again. And, look,
preface: this is not the dear friend that texted Abe.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't think Abe and Anthony are texting buddies. Yeah.
Go ahead, just to clarify.
So. So he was there, and the same spiel. He's in there, won't take photos of anybody. And the friend of mine in the industry who texted me about it because he was real pissed off. I guess he ran into him, and I guess many, many moons ago, maybe before Avengers or whatever, he ran into Anthony Mackie at an event, and they both went out and got wasted, and they were taking pictures and having a good time. He was trying to remind him about the event. Hey, you remember me? Blah, blah, blah. Can I take a picture? Same shit. Cold, no, walked away. So this is my thing. And this is what I don't understand. And if anybody, Jay Davis, if you're watching, tag your people at the PCA. And I think Aficionado too as well. For me, this guy, I don't care if he wants to come 1,000 times. He's got a lifetime ban on the Great Smoke. And I think our industry should just not welcome him anymore. They shouldn't welcome him to any events, because let me just tell you something. Here's the way I look at it. This guy is nothing but a lead. He shows up at the PCA thing to come in, get his free cigars, walk around. But you're coming into a private event. You're not in a public area. You know, you're a guest at a private event. You've been invited. Pretty sure that cheap ass didn't pay for anything to get into anywhere, right? Sure. So I believe that if you can't show, especially when you see how guys like Chaz or Guy Fieri or all these other guys who are so welcoming and loving to our culture, if you just want to come in and leech in just to get fucking free cigars and you don't want to even pay any kind of friendliness or courtesy or respect to the people in the culture, in the community where you're getting access to, fuck him. I think CA, if they had an ounce of fucking pride, I think the PCA should just not welcome this guy to our event. He's more than entitled to have his feelings about, hey, I don't want to take photographs. That's not my thing. I'm not, I'm good. I respect that. But if you're fucking not welcome here, I'm not inviting you as a guest in our house just because you be rude and treat everybody like shit. Fuck him. Fuck him. This industry should not welcome him to anything. And I hope somebody tags.
Can I ask a question? Does he have a brand or something? Why is he there?
Bro, free cigars.
Yeah.
That's all I saw him do.
We're always there, but that's what we're all there for.
New Orleans, I think, because I think he lives in New Orleans, so that's why he was at.
I gave him that. Now what? Does he live in fucking Miami?
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, if you're obviously that enthralled in our culture and our industry, fucking be a nice guy.
Who's letting him in?
Look,
it's a private event. It's got to be CA letting him in.
He's probably there on a media pass.
Or manufacturer's letting him in. Somebody's giving him something.
Someone let him in, whether it was a manufacturer or CA, yeah.
Yeah, someone, I'm pretty sure let him in the fucking PCA. I mean, he's not sneaking in. Somebody who knows him say, hey, Anthony Mackie, I know him. He wants to an event.
Do we know who's letting him in, though? Do we know?
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's CA. You're not going to know, but PCA, I don't. But if you ask, but as an industry, we should just not welcome this fucker. He shouldn't be coming to our events.
Yeah, it's counter to the culture of the industry for sure. No question.
It really is. I'm really hoping.
Why he's there in the first place? Why? Because he smokes cigars?
Obviously.
They love getting the celebrity angle, this industry. And they're going to let him in, but they'll let him in on his terms. And it's kind of crappy. I agree. He should be more, there should be at least some guidelines. Hey, we're inviting you, but we want you to interact, take pictures with people. It's good for our industry.
Listen to me. We want you to act like a nice human being. How about fucking that? Look, I'm sure that Coop's right. Like, before these two experiences and whatnot, if somebody said, oh, he's here, I mean, oh, yeah, let him in. Because you figure any kind of good exposure, anything that's going to bring, like, especially for me, like I'm doing the Great Smoke, if I feel that my crowd, the people who are coming here attending, would love to see him, or I want him there. Yeah. But if he's not interacting with my crowd and being a dick to everybody in the fucking room, what the fuck do I want him there for? So I'm just saying, if this industry just
let's see. I wonder if there'll be pictures in CA on that of him. That's what I'm wondering. So I keep an eye on that, because that'll be even worse. If suddenly you see a photo spread of him, just keep an eye on that. I'm curious, because that's even worse if that happens, by the way.
If this industry has just an order of the backbone, they should just stop letting him in. He's just not welcome. You're all right. You're entitled to believe what you want, do what you want. But your psychology doesn't fit our culture.
I just have this feeling what we're going to see coming out of this,
Or, have Guy Fieri explain the landscape to him. Guy's certainly been around the block a few times now.
That's the best part. Are you ready? He walks into the Espinosa booth. Guy Fieri was there. And all of a sudden, he's letting 50 people take pictures of him and Guy Fieri together.
Of course. How does that make sense?
No, because Guy said, hey, let's take a picture. What's he going to say? No?
No, exactly. Exactly.
And then anybody who walked up to Guy, hey, Guy, can we get a picture real quick? He's going to say, yeah. And what's he going to say? No, look like a dick in front of Guy? No. Screw him.
That's funny.
So I hope this little snippet gets tagged to everybody in this industry, because that shit's just got to stop.
I predict we will see a CA picture of him, and then we'll have part 3 of this on the air. I'm telling you, it's going to happen, or a cover. You watch.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the comments on that cover. That'll be entertaining.
Yeah. I can't wait for that either.
I just don't want anybody confused. This is not the original Captain America. This is after it gets passed on to Falcon.
Don't give him that. He's not giving him Captain America. Fuck him.
He's not Captain America as far as I'm concerned. So shit. All right. That being said, we have a special guest in our room. I'd like to bring him on. A few episodes back, I caught a snippet literally the night before KMA episode, and it was a small cigar manufacturer who was explaining his point of view. It was a 30-second maybe reel. And it had a psychology that I've seen repeated for many, many years throughout my career. And I went and we took snippets of the video. We made some comments, and the comment was, in my opinion, it wasn't really anything towards that individual. It was more this psychology that's just repetitive over the years, and especially being in South Florida, because we get so many people who start a small cigar company. Like literally, they were just like in a restaurant 6 months ago, and now they have a cigar brand. It's very prolific in Florida. And the gentleman was really nice, reached out to me on social media after the show, heard the broadcast. And of course, it caused a little stir by some people who tried to grab 15 minutes of fame and fuck that guy, obviously non-relevant, but, and tried to ride on what we talked about, not even understanding the psychology. It just shows you how. Well,
he had an issue. His guy has an issue with me, that guy. That's why.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. But, you want to, you come to your defense and say, I'm Fortune 50 or whatever. Yeah. You self-praise yourself.
Yeah.
But really, you could just tell anybody who's been in this industry. What people don't realize is, and I think Lou Rothman said it best, this is probably the only industry where you could just talk about anybody by their first name and everybody knows who they're talking about. It's such a closed, just a small community of people. And you could tell in the first 10 minutes when those people don't have really a clue. Like they're just looking at the skin of the apple without any understanding of what's inside. So I wanted to reach out to him, and I wanted him to come on the show, because what we did talk about was a 30-second segment of an interview he had done with another group of guys. And, I wanted to bring him on because I thought this would not only be a chance for him to talk about what he said and me maybe even better explain what I was saying, but also this is kind of a dynamic that I go through every month with somebody, and definitely a half a dozen plus times every time I go to the PCA. It's a dynamic of, because my intention is, look, I'm a small guy. In my mind, sometimes I still am that small retailer that only had 900 square feet, one little store, and literally was nobody was inviting me to lunch if I came to a trade show. So I'm always the type of guy, I love rooting for that guy. I love rooting for the underdog because that was my life. That was my path. So I'm always trying to help people and give them my advice, even though sometimes it's not what they want to hear. I'm trying to help them out. So in my psychology, I'm telling them what they need to hear. So no reason to put it off anymore. I hope I pronounced your name right, because I was a little late getting on, and that's usually a question you want to ask during the green room before the show. But we have Aaron Paoletta of La Vega Cigars. Welcome to the show, Aaron.
Morning, guys. I want to tell you guys are lit this morning. It's almost like walking into a lion's den with a meat necklace. So this is quite an interesting way to start the day. And it's Paoletta in the US, Paoletta if you're over in Italy.
Paoletta.
Got it.
I was trying to give you the proper ethnic pronunciation.
It's all good, man. People think I'm Latino. They think it don't matter. I'm a guy. It don't matter.
So yeah, we had an interesting morning. Obviously, that's an old story, because you probably don't have the background of that story with Anthony. But we met my daughter, big Avengers fan. I think we saw him at the PCA last year. We waited our turn. He interrupted my meeting with Nick Melillo. So we were going in a private room.
That's where it started.
Yeah, some dude walked him in our meeting, and my daughter got all excited. I just kind of signaled to her, just wait, let him finish talking, and then if you want, you can ask him for a picture. She wanted his picture. So they finished talking. My daughter goes, Anthony, I'm a big fan. Can I take a picture? This dude says no, and just turns around and walks away. Doesn't give his explanation. Sweetheart, I'm sorry. I got burned a couple times. I really don't do photography and whatever. Just a dick. So I came on KMA and started burning him, and found out this guy had a long history of doing this. And now to find out he's still coming to industry events and still treating people this way, I'm calling for an industry-wide ban on him. But that's not why we're here. That's not why we have you on. So my response to your broadcast a couple weeks ago was, and this is something I see industry a lot, is especially guys starting out with small companies, is it's the psychology of they feel they want extra given to them because they're boutique, or being a boutique, and however you want to define the word boutique, that there's something that makes them different from everybody else, and retailers should recognize it. And that's a psychology that I've seen a lot over the years. And most of every single guy who had that mentality are either gone or they're still struggling. And that's why when I heard that, I was trying to explain that every single brand was a boutique, whether you're talking about Padron or Perdomo, and they've done the work without anybody giving any special homage to them being boutique. Because the boutique, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you probably talk with a lot of maybe other boutique guys, but they have this aura of there's something special to being boutique, and we need to be recognized when we come in the retail stores. Do you feel that's common amongst the smaller manufacturers?
I think it's certain manufacturers that I've encountered personally. I'm not going to make assumptions for other people, but there are a few brands, which I'm not going to name, just to be professional. There are a few that do have that mentality. And then there's other ones that, they're out there like me. They're on the road, they're visiting lounges, and they're just going after anything they can. So it's kind of a mixed bag depending on who you're talking to. In my experience, of course.
So when you were talking about the snippet about, putting Perdomo or any of these brands, you could put them anywhere because you're right. You put it, some of my retail locations, you wouldn't say are in hotspot locations, high rent areas, high traffic areas, because I've always believed if I build the right atmosphere, the right business, it really doesn't matter where I'm going to be, because cigar guys who are into the hobby and the lifestyle are going to find my shop. And that's kind of the same psychology, right? Some of these brands, no matter what, they're going to find them. But was your point of view that you felt that retailers should give some of the boutique people more prime space?
No, and actually, I'm through talking with you on the phone, we saw a little bit more eye to eye, but I would love to explain this. So yeah, I own a lounge also right outside of my headquarters. And because I'm boutique, which I still don't know I know what it means, but that's a word thrown around so much, it's kind of getting deflated a little bit. But yes, I'm a small brand. It's just me and my family, kind of like the Fuentes and Padrones. We keep it all in, but I am a boutique brand, so I seek out other boutique brands. When I commented on that, I'm not saying that as a retailer, any retailer should just give me prime placement. What I'm saying is there's a little bit of a difference between a discovery shopper and a destination shopper. So a destination shopper, that's the legacy guys, right? They smoke the Perdomos, which, by the way, I'm not knocking them. I actually smoked the Perdomo 20th anniversary Maduro Torpedo. That's my favorite Perdomo. But they can find that anywhere because they know what it looks like. They've been smoking it. But a discovery shopper is some of these younger guys maybe just getting into it, or even some of the old timers that I have in my lounge that come in and they're like, hey, what's new? They're looking for that new thing. So where my opinion is, if you want to carry boutiques, maybe have a different point of view on where to highlight them, just so the people who are looking for them don't have to go to the bottom shelf where they're going to be hidden, and put them up somewhere at eye level. Now, I want to call out a lounge. He's been a longtime supporter of my brand, Joe over at Slippery Rock Cigars. He has a unique setup over there. And when you walk into his humidor, he has this little countertop off to the right-hand side. It doesn't matter if you're legacy, boutique, unknown. He doesn't care. If it is new to the humidor, it goes right there, prime placement on this table. It spends 30 days on this shelf. His philosophy is if it works on the shelf or on the countertop, it goes to the shelf. If it doesn't work there, it's not going to work here. So I kind of like his idea. I unfortunately don't have that kind of space to do that, so I don't. But if a retailer wants to carry them, maybe adjust a little bit how you place them so they're not just sitting there dead in the water.
Alex, were you going to say something?
No, I was just thinking it's actually more of a macro thought than this particular, but I feel like boutique brands have a problem. I'm probably going to need about a minute here. Boutique brands have a problem. I don't even know that they're aware of, but there is a problem with boutique brands. And the problem is a few years ago, I don't want to blame the boutique brands, but many of them were a part of it. We allowed a certain company to find any cigar they could for $2 and slap the boutique name on it and call it a boutique brand and a boutique something. And that hurt the boutique industry because now suddenly it's like, well, is this boutique or is this you're buying dollar sticks? A lot of what I call micro brands, right? There's there's boutiques and there's micro brands. And there's nothing wrong with a micro brand. I look at it from the watch industry. A micro brand is, look, I don't make my own parts. I source my parts just like I source my tobacco. And then we create a product. That's a micro brand. A boutique is we make, create, and source and construct our own parts. That's how I look at a boutique. And neither one is better or worse. But I think there's a macro problem for a few years, boutique cigars got a bad name because everything that, got found in some warehouse somewhere was suddenly some boutique brand. So and I'm not saying that, but it became a line of caution when you see the word boutique. It's a boutique or is it some shit you found?
I'm actually glad you said that because I am new to this industry still. I mean, in the backstage, I briefly, talked to you guys about it. I was a chef in Las Vegas for 14 years. And then I was also a musician. I owned a recording studio. I was signed to, labels. I toured the country. I jumped into this like I do everything else without knowing a fucking thing of what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Let's go do that. And then I learn as I go. That's just the kind of person I am. So I'm still learning, what's been happening that's kind of biting me in the ass now. But I will agree with you. There are a lot of, you call them micro, there are a lot of brands that are just grabbing, raunchy sticks and putting a band on it. And I've had my own encounter with this when I was down in North Carolina. There was this guy, I don't even remember the brand. I was in visiting one of the lounges that carries my brand. We came out, me and my operations manager, Vince, we were leaving. And this guy is like, hey, can I get you a cigar to try? It's one of my new ones. Like, okay, cool. No problem. Looked like he was heading in. This dude went to the trunk of his car and pulled it out of his trunk door and handed it to me. And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to smoke this. So I see your point 100%. I've been able to see it a couple times myself, but I don't know what happened in the past. I celebrate 3 years, May 11th, so I'm still learning, which is which is why I'm taking you guys' advice.
I just want to clarify too. Micro brand isn't a negative connotation either. Look, Protocol Cigars is a micro brand. They don't actually produce, tobacco, but Protocol Cigars sources from AJ Fernandez. So even just in the micro, that's how I kind of myself separate boutique from micro. But yes, there are the micro brands who, like you said, are guys selling some shit out of a trunk because he got it from a guy who sold it for $1. So he'll sell it for $2 to the guy who has a shop and say, here, you sell it for $4. And it came
I think the terminology that Alex is talking about became pretty prolific about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And because rebanding cigars was always
been a thing.
Always happening since the beginning of time as far as our industry is concerned. But what happened was people started, and it became very prolific. Started, I'm going to guess, around 8, 9 years ago, where
Lost and Found.
A lot of stuff I wasn't going to
They made it cool, Lost and Found.
Oh yeah. That's where the concept thing really.
They weren't the first.
Lost and Found was transparent with what they were doing.
Yes,
they were for sure. They're totally transparent.
And they're telling everybody, and so when you have the tiers that you're talking about, Alex, the other level is just band makers. That's what I call those people.
Sure.
They're not brand owners. They don't really, all they do is create a band, and that's their band makers.
Yeah, you're a cigar drop shipper essentially.
Yeah, and you're just selling. Selling.
Listen, here's the thing that people don't realize. And Aaron, it's Aaron, right? I didn't blow
yes,
that.
Yes.
You're a retail owner, so listen, man. You got to deal with band makers who are literally guys hanging out at your shop. They don't even have a tobacco license. They're like,
True.
I could, literally, it goes from up to band makers.
True.
And you mentioned Lost and Found. So Tony Bellotto, because he was with Robert Caldwell with that whole project. Tony Bellotto was the first retailer to ever give me a chance. And I mean, I've been an underdog my whole life because you know how rude people can be, especially in Vegas. Like nobody wants to give you a chance. And this guy gave me a chance. So I caught a lot of flack personally with the Found cigars. To pay homage to Tony and Rob for what they did, I was able to get my hands on 2 different blends, and I called them the limited series, and I released one in 2024, one in 2025, and you wouldn't believe the flack I got off of that. Like I was ripping these guys off. I'm like, dude, this is my mentor. Like I'm paying homage to him. So I knew what I was getting because I smoked. It literally came from the lost and found like overflow bin that they weren't using, which I don't think Rod was too happy with because they were banging cigars, and I'm pretty sure he was pissed off that I got them. But they were still good. But I understood at that point. I understood like now what you're referring to. So now this year's limited series, I worked with my factory to make it because I want to put it back into production. Them found cigars I couldn't.
And Aaron, where is your factory?
It's in Santiago, Dominican. It's Tabacalera Las Lavas.
Cool. You know, what you talked about earlier, and I think that's what sometimes doesn't translate well in a 30-second reel when you're just hearing one snippet of a conversation. I think, well, I mean, look, here's the truth of it is, I mean, the problem is this industry is full of more average or less than average cigar retailers than guys who really are good at what they do. I've seen it. I've been there. I travel the country. I will stop at every cigar shop I travel with. I try, you know, everywhere I go. And I think that's where a lot of the suffering is because, you know, just us as a company, our psychology, we do exactly what you were talking about your hometown lounge there. We have a shelving system outside our humidors because first off, we're really good about keeping our humidors neat and organized, right? And you can't keep slotting in shit and keep any kind of stability in how your humidor is presented and looks. So we don't want to waste time slotting something in because there's not like a millimeter of room in my humidor. So if I'm bringing in 3 new lines, 3 new SKUs, 3 SKUs has got to come out somewhere. Yep. And then it becomes like, you know, Tetris. You know, what are you going to move?
Literally.
Yeah. It becomes like Tetris and whatever. So we don't want to go through that if this brand is not going to have longevity. So we have shelving outside our humidor where anything new goes on that shelving. So people see it before they even walk in. And that's where we judge it. And you can't judge it like in a short time. We give it usually like a quarter, maybe sometimes even over 3 months. See how the traction. If it makes a traction, we say
like the blockbuster staff picks, right?
Yeah, and it's gonna, you know, make the shelf. Then we slot it. We slot it into the humidor and make room for the next new one. And that's kind of how we do it because this way, because look, the amount of effort depending on your size, right? If you're a small mom and pop and you bring in a new line, basically your whole effort process is let's just put it on the shelf and that's it. As you grow and you become bigger, that process becomes a lot longer. You know, you got to explain to 30, 40 of your staff people about the cigar, give them a heads up. And then for guys like us, there's photography, there's copy, you know, there's building the back end if you're going to put it on your website. So it's a lot of work. And we don't want to do that work and see a brand fail. And that's usually why I will have long conversations before I will even bring a brand in, because I like to know that the psychology of the guy I'm talking to, does he know how to market himself? Does he understand how to market himself? Because the one mistake that I've seen in 34 years that's just, it hasn't gone away and it never changes, is they think, and I must have had this conversation at least a dozen times at a trade show, they think that making a good cigar is what it takes. And unfortunately,
it's far more than that. It's far more than that.
Unfortunately, it's not. I mean, I literally said to a couple guys, will you look at this room? This room is full of great cigars, good cigars. Now, some of them might not be my palate. I don't care for it. Doesn't mean it's not a good cigar. So, but they come into my office and, you know, they want to show me and they hand me this thing that, you know, they put their blood, sweat, and tears with. And they're like, you know, try my cigar. And I purposely don't try it. I purposely just said, no, I'll get to it later because I'm trying to let them understand that this is not what's going to make or break the brand in the store. I mean, I don't question your cigar is great. And unfortunately, it's what I think of it. Look, I mean, let's be real. I'd say 50, at least 60% of what I sell in my humidor is not my cup of tea. It's not my palate. It's not the thing I'll smoke on a regular occasion. But that's not what I do for a living. I don't smoke cigars for a living. I sell cigars for a living. Ultimately, I service the consumers. I service the people who walk through my door and tell them what I want. So for me to smoke your cigar and tell you how I feel about it, there's no end result on whether this cigar will be a successful brand in our company or not. And that's the hard thing to get through to any of these small guys who create a brand, because they think it's the end all of making a great product, and it's just far from it.
Well, and I would 100% agree with you on it, because, you know, that's what I referred to when I said quality of lounge. Like, don't think for one second when when I go into a lounge as a brand to visit with the manager, the owner, whomever, don't think they're not judging me. Everything, the way I dress, the way I present myself, everything. Well, I'm equally judging them. I'm looking at everything. I want to see, like, how do you interact with your customers? How does your staff interact? How organized is your humidor? Like, you touched on some of these points. That's what I mean by quality is, do you care about your establishment, or are you just going to throw me on the shelf and say, well, here you go? I don't want that. If you can't stand by what I'm doing, please don't bring me in, because you're going to hype me up. I just opened another store. And then, 3 months from now, I'm going to call you to go visit, because I visit every retailer. It doesn't matter if my reps open it, my broker opens it. I visit everyone. And if I go there and you're like, oh, they're not working. Well, now I got 10,000 questions of why. I'm immediately going to my reps and be like, when was the last time you went? When was the last time you called? If it's not their fault, whose fault is it? Because now I'm a problem solver. There's an issue. I need to create a solution. So I do respect that. And there's a lot of lounges out there like that.
There are.
And I also do psychology behind it. So I tell all my reps, I say, you do not go into a lounge and sell La Vega cigars. Go into the lounge and tell them who I am. Tell them what I've done. Tell them where I've been, where I'm going, what our plans are. Give them a business proposal so they can see. It reminds me a lot of being in the music industry. I held contracts with Warner Brothers. I mean, I was signed with Ryan Record. We toured everywhere. We were taught psychology behind it. And before we were signed, we got to talk with a lot of A&R representatives, and they said, look, we just want to see if you're in this for the long haul. Like, understand we're watching you, but we're watching to see what you do and what moves you're making, because if you're a fly-by-night, we're not going to sign you. Why would somebody invest that kind of money and time and promotion into somebody who's just going to disappear? Why try to do all that on my end? That's the hard work. That's the hard work. That's why I'm out there on the road. I'm visiting everything. I'm doing these podcasts with you gentlemen today. Like, I do all this stuff because this is my way of pushing my name out there. This is the way of getting people to know who I am, where I've come from. Not everybody's going to agree with what I say. I mean, like you, Abe, I got a foul mouth. I came from a kitchen in the music industry. Like, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And I'm Italian, so I'm extremely passionate, which my wife thinks I'm yelling. I'm just talking loud enough for everybody to hear in the back of the room. So I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm out there doing the work, because if I'm not going to do it, who's going to do it? I can't rely on you to do it.
Nobody.
So here's the problem. And there's no problem with the statement you just made. I think the issue comes from the other part of the statement. And I understand the point of what you're making with the other part of the statement. But this statement, I don't know if it was you or whoever on the pod, when you say you can put Rocky on the floor, immediately go to put Rocky on the floor. Rocky's in Washington, D.C. fighting to keep my business alive. How can I put him on the floor? How? And I understand the point you're trying to make. I get it. But that when you say that kind, put Rocky on the floor, he's keeping me alive. He's helping me feed my kids. If he ain't fighting it, who is? So I think that part of it didn't need it. And your point would have been.
Yeah, it resonated bad in a 30-second clip. That was
right. That small part of it kind of resonated.
Right. It does.
I see the point. But the mentality.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but that's the whole point of today, right?
Yeah,
I'm elaborating and explaining, because I absolutely don't believe that. Matter of fact, I got to meet Rocky for the first time. Actually, the picture that you guys chose to put on that banner for today, by the way, whoever did that graphically looked fucking awesome. But that picture you chose where I was drinking my coffee, that was a Rocky Patel ALR second edition 660 in my hand. I'm a huge fan of Rocky.
I saw that too, which I found interesting. I saw.
Yeah, man. I got to meet Rocky for the first time at the show, and I actually thanked him, because he kind of set the tone for people like me. I didn't come from this industry. This guy was an attorney and just jumped into it, and he did it back before social media. Like, the dude went out and grinded to get where he's at. And I thanked him personally, because he really is an inspiration to guys like me who sometimes I feel like I can't do this. I feel like I'm up against the world, because I got a lot of people talking shit about me. I got a lot of I stir the pot. I understand that. But I know I'm doing it right, because I'm out there and I look to people like Rocky for that inspiration. So to be able to shake his hand and thank him was, I mean, shit, that was like 50% of my PCA. That was our first PCA trip.
Listen, while we got
that's
John,
the mentality to have. That's the mentality to have, because I think what a lot of people, because look, Rocky is what he is now, right? And I think Rocky's and his brands get a lot of, rap. There's a million of them. He's a big time, but I mean, pound for pound, I don't think there's anybody that has walked into more retail shops over the last 30 years than Rocky Patel. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
they didn't they call him,
how you go from boutique to what he is.
literally.
Didn't somebody actually name him the hardest working man in the industry at one point?
I think
I've
if
heard
you
that
ask
numerous
anybody in the
times.
industry,
Common nickname.
yeah, anybody in the industry will tell you up front, Rocky has and always will be the hardest working guy in the industry, no question, hands down.
All right, Aaron, I get the point about the floor piece, but you said this, and I'm reading the transcript from the Leaf Cutter show. You said they need to be highlighting the smaller brands nobody knows about. That's how you're going to push it. That's how you're going to bring recognition to them. But depending on the lounge owner, some just want to make sales.
Right.
So why did you say that? Because one is a lounge owner, that's their job to make sales. They gotta go what's new. I had a few people I know that I sent to a cigar lounge in Philadelphia, and they walked into this lounge and they saw Cookie Monster cigars and things like that, and they kind of turned and they said, well, where's Monte Cristo? Where's, they're casual smokers, right? Where's Monte Cristo? Where's Padron? That's what people are looking for. Now, I'm not saying they should ignore. I'm not saying they should ignore the smaller brands, but you can't say they shouldn't push the big brands, because that's what people are coming in for.
Right. So that goes back a little bit to what I said earlier when I was talking about if you want to carry boutique cigars, my personal opinion is you need to highlight them so you don't have a hard time selling them. I have been in way too many lounges. Some who are legacy only, they just won't give me the time of day. Some who maybe want to start carrying, but they're kind of afraid to. I don't want to say afraid. Wrong choice of words. They don't understand how to do boutique because it is a weird fabric that we're in with the boutique. And then there's other brands that are other lounges that are boutique only. A matter of fact, I'm speaking with one in Florida right now. He refuses to bring in anything legacy. What I said with that, and I just didn't elaborate, it was what I said earlier. If you want to carry boutiques, you might want to highlight them so you don't sit on them and go, well, I wasted my money. Because like Abe, you said you had 30 or 40 employees. How the fuck are you going to go and train all of these people to do exactly what you yourself know how to do? I couldn't even imagine. I don't have 40 employees. I'm having a hard time dealing with 5 reps and their bullshit. No, I love these guys. I'm not going to say that. But how you going to teach them all that, right? But that comes back to that that discovery shopper versus the destination shopper. If they want the Rockies, and I'm not throwing Rocky under the bus, but if they want them, they're going to find them. I know I'll find them. I'm a Padron smoker, to be honest with you. I fucking love Padron. You could put those things in the toilet. I'm going after them. I'm going to find them. But if you want to carry the boutiques, maybe highlight them. Maybe not. Your choice. It's your lounge.
Listen, this is where the real lost interpretation, because we actually both agree on the same thing. And if I was a small cigar manufacturer, I'd be looking at the psychology of the retailer whose cigars I put it in, because he's right. There are retailers who will bring in a new brand, and he's right. They bury it. We have a process when we bring in a new brand. I don't care if it's a small guy and this is the first line he ever had. And I don't care if it's fucking Altus releasing their 54th version of Monte Cristo. There's a process. There's this exposure we try to give a brand. There's a placement in our shelves in the brick and mortars. There's cigar of the month if it's something new. There's all these things that we try to implement to give that new brand the best chance to thrive. And this is why I tell every company, whether they're old or new, I mean, look, all we could do is implement all the tools we have to put it in as many people's hands. After that, that's pretty much all we could do. Basically, then it becomes on that manufacturer or that company to keep themselves relevant, because the attention span today is fucking 5 seconds. Everybody could love your cigar today. 2 weeks later, they're smoking something else. So, go ahead.
On that, if you'll allow me, you said something that on your previous show, and you just said something that kind of tripped it. You talked about earning the spot. So as we spoke on the phone, I 100% agree with you. You got to earn it. So when I put, I have a boutique cabinet. So all my smaller brands, my boutique brands, I know all these people, and that's the only way you can get into it. It's kind of my shtick, right? So I look at it as the culinary field, how my chefs all talk to me. When you get hired, and like, I'll never forget the first chef to ever give me a chance. It was at the Rampart Casino. I was fresh out of culinary college. I had my associates from Le Cordon Bleu in Vegas. I had a diploma from Le Cordon International in Paris. And I'm sitting in front of this guy. I'm nervous. I don't normally get nervous. And he looks at me and he says, "You have no experience. Like, I can't put you on the line if you don't have experience." And I looked at him and I said, "Chef, can we talk man to man?" And he took his hat off and he set it on the desk and he said, "Sure, what's on your mind?" I said, "How the fuck am I supposed to get experience if you won't give me a chance?" And he looked at me and said, "You know what? I'll give you 90 days. If you want to stay here, earn it." So, Abe, I agree with you. You got to earn it. So when I put cigars on my shelf, they got 90 days. Now, personally, and I'm going to admit this out loud for everybody to hear, I've lost probably 6 lounges because I fucked up. I was so happy I opened a lounge. It was in a territory that I could not get to all the time. I was not honest with that retailer. And I didn't go back. And it took me months to go back. And the cigars stopped selling. All the lounges that I go to and I visit once every 6 to 8 weeks, I talk with their clientele. We smoke together. We break bread. We have fun. Those sell. But these lounges down in the Carolinas, I lost them. I lost one in Kentucky because I didn't earn the right to stay on the shelf. All we're looking for is a chance. You give me a chance, let me earn it. Let me show you that I deserve to be there. But I fucked up. So that's how I deal with mine. You got 90 days on the shelf. I'll do what I can. I bought the cigars as of that point. I'm not going to let them sit there. I'm going to sell them.
Right.
But if I don't see you in 90 days, at least once a quarter, we're done, bro. And that's how I tell my reps, and that's how I deal with it myself.
It's interesting that you have a retailer perspective because a lot of people who get in the
that makes a difference.
Actually don't have a retailer perspective. But listen, we got a few minutes here before the end of the hour. You know, because first time on our show, and I thank you for taking the time on your Saturday morning coming on our show. But obviously, our culture, our fans out there, even the 4 of us sitting here, maybe Coop because he's and John because they're more media than Alex and I. You know, you've talked about cooking, music, multiple things in your career. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your company and how you actually got to where you are to, you know, being in the cigar industry today? Give us a background on yourself.
So when well, first off, I appreciate you boys having me on because this is actually kind of fun. I couldn't tell you how many people called me and told me not to do this.
Well, you know what, Aaron, because that's the thing in this industry, right? Everybody thinks they know shit, and everybody's happy to hang their hat or give themselves 5 seconds of fame thinking that they're causing a ruckus. They don't even understand what's going on. You know,
and with all due respect, I just want to say you're also not the first person who's made a statement that we've said, have him come on, let him say his piece. It's true. Part of what we do. You know what I mean?
There's another podcast out west. He's a big supporter. He's the one that's like, look, go on there, say your piece, have a good conversation, and I'm having a good time with it. So
this is what we do Saturday mornings. We get together and have a cigar.
I know thankfully technology allows us to do this. So this is like smoking together just digitally. But I'll give you the Reader's Digest version because
let's go. This is your shameless plug time.
So when my wife and I was on tour in 2016. It was the last big tour that we did. I got home and my wife and I were just talking.
When you say you're on tour, are you singing?
I was the drummer.
Okay, so you were a drummer in a band.
I was drummer at Meade Avenue, MEADE. So it's a tiny little street not down by the Strip, and that's where my recording studio was. When I started my band, I named it after the street.
Okay.
So we got off tour, we got back to Vegas, and I was talking to my wife, and she's like, I don't want to live here anymore. Now, initially, I was like, well, thank God, because I fucking hate it here, and I want to leave. So we decided we were going to leave. She chose my hometown because she wanted somewhere small and peaceful. And about 4 months later, we left, April 2017. When I got back, I had so much time now because I wasn't working in the restaurants. I wasn't, working in the studios. Like I was chilling. I started smoking more cigars because I've been smoking cigars since I was 18. So 23 years now or something like that. I mean, I've been a consumer all my life. And the more I started smoking, I'm like, man, I love the culture. I love the, men can go and chat, and men, women, it doesn't matter. Like this is the only industry where your skin color, your religion, your political view, it doesn't matter. What matters is, what are you smoking? Are you enjoying that cigar? Are you having a good day? And I fell in love with it. So La Vega is actually Las Vegas without the S's. I dropped the S's, smooshed the word together, left the L and the V capitalized to signify that. And I started a little mobile lounge. I took, a couple tables, some display cases, a bunch of little merchandise, and I would go to parking lots and set up, and guys would come, we'd smoke cigars and have a good time. And then in 2022, I went to an event over at the Grand Resort in Warren, Ohio. Alec and Luis Cuevas Jr. were there. Alec had just released a Sangre Nueve from Casa Cuevas Cigars. And
great cigar, by the way. Good factory.
I fucking love that.
And you work on a great factory too. Those guys are good.
Yeah, I love that cigar. And I snipped it. I did my dry draw, and I'm looking at my buddy Evan. I said, dude, this tastes like beef jerky. This is the weirdest thing. So Alec comes walking by. The event just started, and I said, hey, bro, can I stop you for a second? Sure, no problem. Very nice. Comes over, starts talking to me. I said, why does this taste like beef jerky? And he's like, I can't believe you got that. I'm like, oh, sit down. Let me tell you who I am. So he sat down. 3 hours later, we had a handshake, and there's my ugly mug.
Oh, wow. Fucking
Not
Alex.
The painted one, the other one. That's back when I had my luscious coif of hair.
Oh my God. Alex be digging shit up somewhere, man. Fucking Alex.
So we sat, we talked for 3 hours. 3 hours later, we had a handshake, and La Vega Cigars was born. Luis Cuevas Jr. has been not just a mentor, an inspiration. And my father passed away in January of 2020. So he's kind of stepped in where I needed him in like that father figure. He will actually, I'm going down to the factory in November. Him and I asked him to help me blend my dad's cigar. It's called the number 61. It's, he died at 61 years old, and Luis is going to help me blend it. And I'm honored that he agreed to do it, but that family has just taken care of me. But it literally happened over Alex Cigar and me asking a question and him being polite enough to sit and talk with me. That's how La Vega came in, and I just jumped into it.
Interesting. Well, I wanted to let Michelle Pauser know. I think, what did she say up here? Here you go. So, Michelle, if you don't know, I think you already have and didn't know it. I believe Aaron was making the Gato Negro cigars for our dear friend and socialite, which is a perfect example. And I am correct in saying that you were making those for him.
I don't make them for him. I turned them on to the factory I use, but I do his distribution for him.
Okay,
I've known Drew a long time. Drew's a good guy.
Listen, he's a great guy. His brother-in-law has been a friend of mine and one of the first supporters of the Great Smoke going back 20 years ago. Doc Lamales, who I believe now is a embassy
ambassador or something.
Ambassador,
like that.
Yeah. So, but I knew it was going to be a rough ride, and I tried to give him as much advice. And I don't know if we have any left. We did a cup promo, we did a hat promo, we tried to help them out, but it's I don't think they realize it, and you're probably knee deep in it, how much work it is to build a brand.
It's insane.
And they weren't doing it. And I called Nick. I said, Nick, we're sitting, Drew, we're sitting on these cigars. They're just collecting dust. I mean, I don't want to, because as a retailer, I understand brand value. So, and I also understand that I need to get shit off the shelves. I can't have just money sitting on the shelves forever. So I will always reach out to a manufacturer. I said, look, I'm not asking you to solve my problem. I could solve my own problem. I could solve my own mistake. But some manufacturers don't want to see their stuff blown out. So I will say, look, do you want to take these back, or do you have no problem if I sell them and get rid of them? And, I called Drew up same way. And he's like, no, Abe, things are, do what you got to do. I don't mind. And then we blew them out and gave away basically at cost. Now, I don't know if there's still any left, because once we did that, everybody wanted them. So, but so those cigars come out of the same factory that you have your cigars made. Okay.
Yeah, they came.
You were doing the distribution. I knew there was an attachment to the name. I wasn't sure how.
Yeah, he actually helps make a lot of stuff for me because of what he does for a living. So like all the letters on the side of my building, he cut all those out for me. It's like, Drew's a good guy. But to your point real quick, I do that with every lounge that I deal with. When we're sitting and we're talking, I always ask, how often do you want to see one of us from the team? Do you like to do events? Because I live for events. And if you give me a chance at a year, you call me and tell me. If they're not doing it, I'll write you a check for what you have left. Thank you for the opportunity. That's how I roll. And I've lost a few and I've gained quite a bit. So it's one of them weird ones.
And that's, honestly, it's a long-term, smart, strategic thing because, if I own a brand, the last thing I want to see somebody is blowing them out, but,
I don't want to see that.
Some guys financially can't bear the burden of it or whatever. And the smart one to understand is a retailer, you can't just sit on that stuff forever. You got to move it. You got to make room for new stuff. That's just money sitting there, not doing anything for you. So it's the circle of life of the cigar industry, but we got to head over to our second hour now. It's funny. I keep looking at the clock. I'm saying, why is it fucking 8 a.m?
Oh yeah, because what's it fucking 8 o'clock over there?
I'm a little lost today. Aaron, I thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Thanks for not listening to the naysayers, and I'm pretty sure the guys who most told you don't come on the show are the guys who wanted to stir shit and trash talked us about the segment that we had, because now it makes him look bad because he doesn't even understand what he was talking about. And now it's deflated his whole pious, let me sit on a high horse and talk shit, because that whole thing is gone, because this is what the cigar industry is about. It's guys connecting, talking, having conversations. Some people confuse my criticism with being rudeness or crass. No, if you want advice, and this is the thing, because I get asked my opinion, a lot. I feel it's my duty, otherwise I'm doing an injustice not to tell you what I feel is right. Whether that's what you want to hear or not is a different story. And most people don't like to hear what they don't want to hear. But sometimes that's the most important thing for them to hear. So I thank you for not listening, coming on, having a discussion about it. And like you said, I think we're more aligned in that 30-second reel, made it appear.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to come on and honestly the leaf cutters were awesome. They were, they weren't.
They're awesome guys.
I'm going on their show.
Yeah. Those aren't the guys we were referring to in the other podcast. Those guys are good guys. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was the other guy. Fuck the other guy.
Yeah, that was just a podcast. That was just a podcast that you did the show. It was a completely other guy who then tried to get 5 minutes of fame.
And he has an issue with me, that guy. So I understand it.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about, and I don't want to know. We'll keep it professional.
That's fine. Yeah.
No point.
A guy named Jimmy is who I'm talking about. He's the one that told me to come on and share my views. Yeah. And he's the other podcast I was referring to, and he was he's been a supporter of me, and he told me that this would be a good thing to go and talk to you guys. So that's who was pushing me to do it.
I've never heard a bad outcome from a decent conversation in my life. And
man, it's a good debates are what makes this world thrive. I mean, otherwise we're all one-sided. So
it used to. Nobody likes to debate things anymore. But anyway,
just real quick before we get the break, I just said, listen, good cigar, bro. Good cigar.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, man.
Listen, you're working with a good factory, Aaron. I've been a fan of Casa Cuevas and Las Vegas for a while, and this is very good, Aaron. Yeah.
Yep. No, they're good people. I love them to death.
Yep.
Can't wait to do the next one. I appreciate you guys actually smoking them. Yep. Those were a gift. Please enjoy them. It's not for placement, Abe. That's not why I sent those to you.
No, we know.
But next time I'm down in Florida, hopefully we can have a cigar together. But I appreciate all you guys. This was fun. If you want to do it again, I'm always down to do stuff like this.
Cool, brother. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. La Vega Cigars. See if you can find them out there somewhere. Check them out. We'll be back in hour 2 after. Oh shit! I gotta run the commercials. That's how off I am this morning. I know, man. It's been a long 3 days. All right, we'll be right back right after this.
Imagine not choosing Monte Cristo. Imagine not choosing greatness. The difference between us and everyone else is in our DNA. The flame of Monte Cristo never extinguishes, because greatness is more than high ratings and exceptional cigars. In greatness, there is history, development, and constant innovation. Choosing a Monte Cristo is not choosing the easy way. Choosing a Monte Cristo is deliberately choosing the best option. Since 1935, We have strived for excellence. Our brand is backed by thousands of pickers, bunchers, rollers, salespeople, and aficionados like you. Choosing Montecristo is more than simply choosing the best. It is joining a family that believes in greatness. It is knowing that Montecristo evolves with the times, but still maintains our values and storied traditions. Choosing a Montecristo is choosing not to settle for less than the best. Lighting a Montecristo is taking a trip down memory lane, yet enjoying the moment and getting excited about the future. Imagine not choosing Montecristo. Imagine not choosing greatness. Now our story continues. Without forgetting where we came from, we are creating the future, one blend at a time. Here's to the past, present, and future. Montecristo. Then, now, forever.
Surgeon.
Honest Abe here with the GOAT to tell you about Smokin's Cigar of the Month Club. Alex, tell our fans out there why our club is the best darn club out there.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you why. Because every month I personally handpick 5 premium cigars. No filler, no fluff, no fugazis. These are all premium handmade name brands that you can find in any brick and mortar store in your area. All delivered to your door for $34.95. And our average monthly retail value since the inception of our club has been almost $57. Another great feature of our Cigar of the Month Club, Alex, tell them about the ease of our Cigar of the Month Club. I'll tell you, I hate subscription services. It's always a pain to cancel them, turning them on. We've made it super simple. All you gotta do is log into your account. There's a little green button there. If it's green, you're active. You want to take a break, going out of town, simply hit the button and you'll deactivate your membership. Want to turn it back on? The exact same easy process. You can turn it right back on. We've made it that easy for you. Another great feature is our Double Down Club. Alex, tell them about the Double Down Club. We had so many of our members reach out to us who really enjoyed our selections every month that they wanted to know there was a way they can get 2. And we've made that very simple. With a simple check mark, you can get double this great selections every month and save $10. Does our club have perks? Of course it has perks. You want to tell them about the perks? As a member of our club, every month there's a special discount code where if you like any of the selections, we will offer them to you, so you want to come and get some more, you can get them at a special discounted rate for our Cigar of the Month Club members. And finally, expedited shipping. Tell them how fast we get the stuff out, Alex. We get the stuff out on the 28th of every month. Our membership bills on the 28th, and we get every member's package out on the 28th if it's a shipping day. 5 great reasons on what makes Smokin' Cigar of the Month Club the best club out there. Check it out. Peace. Hey, I really appreciate you doing the video with me. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. I mean, you didn't let me get a word in, but whatever. Well, great. It's perfect.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of KMA Talk Radio. We are here after the break. Interesting interview. That's what the industry's about, man.
Yeah.
All you could do
it's not
is
about 30-second outrage. It's about having a conversation.
And that's the problem where I see some of these. In that podcast, I don't think they misuse the clip. I've seen people be more aggressive with it, but
I don't think they understood how the clip even resonated.
I don't think they did either. Now, I've seen other people deliberately make those clips to try to ruin people, but that wasn't the case with the leaf cutters guys.
Yeah, no. Those guys would seem like they're a bunch of good guys hanging out, trying to have fun and do it. But I don't even think they were trying to give him good props on what he was saying, but they didn't realize how it resonated or how it came out. And of course, I don't know anything about their show, didn't know anything about Aaron, heard this clip at fucking 11 o'clock, 12 midnight, and like, what, And, of course, we went on Saturday morning, talking about it. But No, they reached out to me. They wanted me to come on their show. I'm not sure when I'm doing it, but I told them I'd come on, and they seem like a real nice bunch of guys.
And by the way, any brand that's called legacy, I mean, you wear that as a badge. I mean, if you're a legacy brand, I mean, you've arrived. I mean, that's the greatest compliment you could be paid in the industry. Your legacy brand, that means you're turning day after day after day in humidors across America. Like that
means your brand's going to be around a lot longer when you're not.
Right?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And by the way, what kind of cowards tell a man don't go on there? Don't like. Wait a minute. What's going to happen? Worst case scenario. Look, let's be real. Not that KMA is some great fucking giant. But look, it's been around for over 10 years. KMA. Abe is owner of Spoken.
15, 16.
No, KMA has been that long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was the 10 year anniversary?
No.
I don't register because I was there for it. I feel like
over 15 years at least.
Abe obviously owns Smoke. So even if we brought this guy on and beat the shit, we look like assholes. Like, what was the ruse? We're like, what a cowards! Like, don't go on there. So anyway, only us could have came out of here, or if this guy just like came on like a fucking asshole, which he was absolutely not. Like, what a coward! No, you're getting invited to state your case on a statement. We want to talk to you.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie. There's a comment he wrote that I didn't like. Okay. However, I didn't want to create a hostile. I was thinking about going after him. But I didn't want to create a hostile environment.
Something that offended you? Impossible.
Well,
impossible.
Well, and you know that comment shouldn't have been made, so I don't even want to go there. So, but the point is, I didn't want to create a hostile environment.
The one we talked about where I said if you had made that statement and I had no idea.
The toilet paper? The toilet paper? Yeah.
Look, did you see that, Alex?
Gotta have props, man. That's you know. Gotta have props.
So listen, and if you want to say I softened during the interview, I did because I want him to feel welcome. The guy, he was coming on, and I kind of felt that. Yeah.
That was very professional of you, Coop.
But I wasn't happy with that comment. I wasn't happy with that comment. Yeah.
I don't disagree with his statement either. That there are some shops that just want to make sales.
Terrible shops. I say it all the time.
Yeah, that means fair. In context, that's a fair statement.
And it is. He's right on that. He's right on that. Yes, I agree with that.
Abe's right. I mean, the funny thing about being in the cigar industry is you can do everything wrong and you can still be in business for 15 years. I mean, it's, right?
Yeah.
Like,
bro, listen, that's not just the cigar industry. There are many.
Yeah, that's true.
Our head and say, how
restaurants and
how does anybody even still give them their money?
Yeah, but I'll say this: the cigar is a good cigar. I am enjoying this cigar a lot. So
it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
It does not hurt. This is a good cigar. So. But listen, if you see this cigar, this Primo, I get it. Yeah.
This is the problem with, and this is why I, as an owner and a guy now who's unfortunately become the old veteran in the industry, this is why I like to talk to these guys because what you don't,
it, bro. It is what it is.
I know, man.
You are what you are at this point. Congratulations, you made it that fucking long.
This is what we don't understand is. And this is why, and Coop, you may have seen it, but the guys who really work with me see it all the time. Why I will spend so much time talking to guys like an Aaron, or when they say, "Can you please come by my booth? I want to see you." I will go out of my way and go see them at their booth because what you don't understand is these guys like Aaron and these small companies who are coming up, they're not talking to a lot of people.
Yeah,
you see how excited he was to actually see Rocky and Felper. They're not. So they don't get that insight. So they have to listen to the guys who are not really in the industry, who are really going to give them any good advice. Like the jerk off that we were talking about, who came out firing. And I hope he tries coming out firing again after this show. But he's trying to negate my experience in this industry. Like I don't have a clue what the fuck I was talking about, comparing me to another retailer. I mean, and I'm pretty sure he probably told him, don't go on our show. If you talk to anybody who's been in this industry for more than a hot minute, there isn't one person who wouldn't tell you, oh, no, you got to go on that show. There isn't one person who wouldn't tell you that, no, Abe has a lot of experience in this industry. You could probably, learn a thing or two.
Yeah.
Him, right?
No, that's true.
Guys who aren't really have a clue of what's going on, and that's the feedback they get. And then that's the guys reaching out to him. Oh, don't do that show. Like Alex said, why would anybody tell him? Listen, forget about the chance it may have been hostile or whatever. We're like one of, or if not the longest running shows on here, and we have a huge following. Why would you tell somebody not to take an opportunity, at least to get your brand out there and talk to a whole group of people?
Right. I don't care if you beat the shit out of me. If you're going to say my company name 10 times, come on.
From a business standpoint. But this is the advice they're getting because they're listening to guys who just don't really have a clue yet. And I'm not trying to say I'd be rude. It's just factual. They don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Go out and get a clue before you start trying to advise people and talk to people and show like you got some kind of insight, because if you think that you were part of a Fortune 50 company, that gives you any merit on what's going on in the cigar industry. It doesn't.
I think at its core too, Abe, and maybe this gets missed on people, is like you have a vested interest naturally of making him successful. You want to see him successful. This is the first time you've had a chance to really sit down with a guy, but at its core, you're like, I want to see you successful. I want to see your brand grow. I want to see you do well in the industry. I don't want to see you tank. I don't want to see you disappear after 2 years. And, whether he's a retailer or whether he's a brand owner, like you personally want to see him succeed. That's just how you're built.
I just think, go ahead, Alex.
Go ahead.
No, I just think, go ahead. You go.
I'm muting myself. All right. No, I think a lot of boutique guys, they fall into the trap of, they also think whatever their geographical area is, like Texas is my example, right? Like if I have a boutique brand and I'm operating out of Texas and I'm looking at my geographical area, like Texas is a weird world, right? I would think like, boutique brands are hot all over the country because they're, you know what I'm saying?
I've said that a million times. It's its own market. It doesn't translate to the rest of the country.
There's a little bit like you can fall in and realize that the rest of the country isn't like your market.
Yeah, we're very much a hometown, home state market if you think about it. Like especially a lot of stores that do the store exclusives. And I'm not going to put smoke in because you're more national, but a lot of these stores, they'll do the store exclusive and it will be the greatest cigar in the shop, right?
Right.
Because the people who are local get behind it, right? It may be a very good cigar, but it may not be. But I noticed those cigars get propped up a lot more so it's very much a hometown mentality is what we see with the boutiques.
And listen, and that's a great place to start.
Right.
But you have to forge your path to figure out, all right, how do I keep going forward? How does my arc keep going up, the path, my incline? Yeah. And you have to keep figuring that out because you have to, and we look, I'll tell you a great story. I'll tell you a great story. Eric,
a guy who did it so well that we don't even think of it when we say boutique. El Mago. He did it so well. I almost think of him like a main. Yeah. He's boutique as they come.
Well, he's an exception because I had a talk with him at the trade show, and once again, what I said could come across very, very shitty, and people could get offended. This guy absolutely agreed, and he understood, and he gets it because what I see in Nick, right? So first off, product's great. I love almost all his cigars. So that's a defining factor at first, right? So you got something to work with. If people can get these in people's hands, I think they're going to like them a lot. But what Nick has, and I'm not even sure he realizes it as much, is Nick's ability to conceptualize and put something and execute the finished product in the look and the feel and to be able to move. I just saw what he did at the Great Smoke with those tins that he didn't even have. He sold product for the first time ever in 20 years that wasn't even present at the show. Guys in this industry 10, 20 years aren't at that level.
No.
There are companies that have been doing this 20 years. They're doing it successfully, still aren't. This kid has a magic that some companies will never have. They strive to have. But now he's got to get his head out of his ass and understand the business side of the business. And that's where he has to work. The creativity, all that stuff is brilliant, but he has to now work the business side because he has what you cannot teach. He has something that doesn't even have to do with hard work. It's just creativity and imagination and a psyche. He has that. Now he's got to do the business side of it. And I hope he does because I'm rooting for Nick.
Abe, one of the things I think you've talked about before is having a motor. And I, as someone who worked in the industry, in the yes, cigar, but specifically the restaurant industry, when you work in the restaurant industry and you can work for more than a couple of years in the restaurant industry, it teaches you a gear, a motor level that you just, I think it's a life skill that you carry with you for the rest of your life. And I think it's an incredible training tool for everything in the rest of your life, because there's just so many little things in the restaurant industry that you have to do correctly or you get crushed. And I think when I hear guys in the cigar industry who previously have experience in the restaurant industry, I'm like, yeah, so you will natively understand, just like if you worked retail for 5 years, you will understand so much more about retail operations and business than if you went and got an MBA. I think it's just, it's such an important skill set that maybe gets glossed over sometimes.
You know, the story I was going to tell you is this, and it's funny because Eric has been, there's a lot of things in our careers because of our friendship that have impacted us greatly. I mean, they're pretty much maybe would never be a great smoke if it wasn't Eric Espinosa putting the idea in my head to do it in South Florida, and let's do it together. And I will tell you something. Early on in Eric's career, I used to have, when I first bought the Pompano store, which is about 30 minutes south of Boynton, probably, and there was a whole new crew of guys there, and they played cards regularly. My routine for 2 years, for 2 solid years, was Tuesdays was the day I went to go work Pompano. Because when I open up a new location, I like to be more present in the beginning, you know, solidify the foundation. And Tuesdays was my day. So it was me, Eric, and about 2 or 3 other guys. We would meet at a historic, iconic place called Filomena's back in the day. And we would have lunch every Tuesday, like 12, 1 o'clock. And from Filomena's, we'd drive 10 minutes, go to the Pompano store. I would do a little bit of work. They'd have a cigar. And then from 5 p.m. till about midnight, we'd play cards in the upstairs.
Played in that game too, yeah.
Yep, we play cards with about 5, 6, sometimes 8 guys. And we were doing that for like fucking 2 years. And I was talking to Eric. And Eric was like, you know, because Eric was in South Florida. This is that hometown thing, right? That you were talking about. You know, they're good in their hometown. And he was good in Philly because he had a dear friend with a shop in Philly. So he was kind of strong in that area because that's where he traveled a lot. And we were talking, and I said, Eric, you need to hit the fucking road. I mean, you have the presence, you have the personality. You can't fucking build this company playing fucking cards with us every fucking Tuesday night. I know it sucks. And he said, I hate travel. I hate going. But I'm telling you, he eventually fucking took my advice, started doing events everywhere, started hitting the road, and that company has gone a long way since we were playing cards on every Tuesday night. So, but some people don't make that leap.
Yep.
Right? Some people don't say, I don't want to be on the road. You know, I got a son who's growing up. Eric Jr. was still in his teens, you know, but it's what I got to do. And then he gets in the fucking car and he gets in the fucking plane. And he starts fucking going around the country. Not a lot of guys take that leap. They'll rather cry or find any other reason why they're not being successful, blame retailers or do anything, than take the accountability is, I really didn't do what I should have been doing, which typically in my life, if you do what you're supposed to be doing, there's a high probability chance you'll find success. You know, call me silly, but that's kind of what I see more often than not.
Just a quick note to that story for everyone. Don't ever let Eric try to convince you that he can remake Filomena's Penny alla Vodka. Swears he has the rest.
That was with Juan Cancel too.
It was with Juan Cancel.
After the KMA episode, when we were doing it in the studio, we went to this Italian market. I don't know. We spent like $300 on pasta and fillets and whatever. And Eric was going to come over to my house and cook us all lunch, and he made what did Juan call rocks?
Rocks. Problem was they were in a rush. You had to go to he had to hit the road and get to Fort Myers or something.
Yeah.
We haven't let him live that one down.
God, it feels like that was another lifetime ago, though, doesn't it?
Is my mic better, by the way?
Yeah, sound crisp.
That feels like it was another lifetime ago, doesn't it?
I know.
That was pre-pandemic, wasn't it?
Oh God, that was everything. That was
studio days. Yeah,
that was early.
There's things, right? And I mean, at least for mine, there's post 9/11, pre 9/11, post 9/11, and there's pre-pandemic, post-pandemic.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, that was a lot of talk. Let's move the show along. Do we have a tail of the tape?
We got everything.
Not tail of the tape. Sorry.
Name that jam. Yes, we have name that jam.
All right. I know I'm going to suck at it this week.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm lightening up on the lyrics.
All right. All right. Well, sponsored by our dear friends over at Mackinac Cigars. It's time to test your musical acumen. Let's see if you can name that jam.
All right. I feel that this is a gimme, but we shall see. Here we go.
The time to hesitate is through. No time to wallow in the mire. Try now, we can only lose, and our love become a funeral pyre.
It's so funny.
All right, Abe, this is a slam dunk.
Coop got it about 2 seconds before Abe. Coop did, then Abe finally did his thing. I'm like, all right, we got.
This one.
John, any clue?
I know the band, I don't know the song.
You know what?
I know the band, I don't know the song.
Who's the band?
It's the Doors.
Yes. How do you not know that? How do you not know the song?
Because
how can you hear the Doors and then not know the song? I'm curious.
Well, okay, two things. One, again, my musical IQ. I don't know what it is. I can remember weird facts, but the link between lyrics and songs, I've never had the ability. I can do movie quotes till the cows come home, but when it comes to music, for whatever reason.
This is the song that the Doors made literally for mainstream.
Light My Fire?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Correct. But you listen to the lyrics, right? And it's just like you immediately go, oh yeah, these are songs to drink yourself to death in the bathtub to. And it's like, well, it's got to be the Doors, right?
It's got to be Jim Morrison. Yeah, it's got to be
Jim Morrison, the saddest man in the music industry. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh, you have some brotherhood there.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know. It's my buddy used to take me along to name that tune, and he brought me just because he knew that every once in a while I'd be terrible at name that tune, but they'd have a movie quotes at the end as sort of a round robin, and he's like, "This is my shoe in because I get two words into the movie quote, and I'm like, yeah, it's this movie," and the guy's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's just how my brain works. It's a weird place. It's just how it works."
That's funny.
That could be a good. That could be a good one too.
What?
Yeah. Name that
quotes?
line.
Name
that movie quote.
I'd be your Will Cooper for name that.
I'd be terrible at that one, but yeah.
That's harder than you think.
It is much harder.
Yeah, it's very tough. Yeah,
that's harder than you think.
I mean, we were doing Sopranos quotes, John, and I think
it's harder than
easy.
you think.
That's easy,
time.
but others are harder.
I don't think it's that hard over a year, right? It's harder than you think over time. You can get 52 pretty recognizable.
No. I mean, it's harder than you think to recognize them.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I think you can get a year's worth, maybe, of top quotes. But as it goes over time, maybe not a year, it's 52. But as it goes over time, right? I don't know how many. It becomes subjective. Just because I remembered some shit doesn't necessarily mean that's a quote that stood out to you.
You know how many times I'll say something because I'm one of those guys that I make movie references in everyday dialogue.
Me too. And nobody gets them.
Totally.
And nobody gets them. Like,
I hate that. I hate that.
Fuck?
You know what's funny about Abe too is when that happens, he'll pull the entire fucking shop just to see it. Fucking like, ooh. And
you really not know this?
It's an age thing. It's like, no, these guys are 25. They never even heard of that fucking movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So I used to have an employee, I swear to God, for like 3-4 years, I used to call him Lilliputian. Right? And this went on for 4 years, 5 years, Lilliputian. Everybody accepted it. Everybody heard me call him. And then I realized nobody who worked for me knew what a Lilliputian was. Really? I was blown away.
You're assuming your staff is well read.
You don't have to be well read. Jack Black made a funny fucking movie. It used to be a cartoon on Saturday mornings, Gulliver's Travels. I mean,
no, but you got to remember, you're talking to your staff. That ain't been a fucking cartoon on Saturday morning in 35 years. That's
That movie wasn't that long ago.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Also, it's not like it's a little indie. It's not an indie reference. You know what I mean? We're not quoting Primer or something like that, where a person never even heard of the movie.
Not even just that, but how do you let me call you something for 4 years and have no clue what the fuck I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at some point I'd Google it or look up and see where's my boss calling me. Yes, you should. All right, Coop, how are we doing on news?
We got some news this week. It's a healthy week. It's not an overloaded week, but it's not a light week either.
All right, bro.
So we have some good stories this week, yeah.
Let's get you in and find out what's going on this week in the cigar industry, because it's time to find out what's Scoop with Coop.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music?
The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
All right. So a report came out this week with a Spanish publication, and they've been tied into the whole thing about Tabacalera de Garcia and Flor de Copan for a while. So they kind of know, they kind of have been knowing what's going on. And they reported that this week a path has been cleared for both factories to resume operations. So if you remember, these factories were banned. Yeah, they could not export product out of those factories. So Altadis is the recipient of those exports, and there were no shipments going to Altadis for a while out of either of those factories. And that was whole tied to the whole Chenzi, and Chenzi's had an ownership stake in the holding company that owned those factories, and that's so they were kind of shut down. But this week, it's been reported that both the U.S. and the U.K. have granted temporary licenses to the factories. The U.S. has granted a temporary license until 2028, and the U.K. has granted a license till 2031. And this, by all means, clears the path for the factories to start resuming operations. I've been told it's already started, but I don't have an official statement on that yet, is what I'll say. So that's big news. That is a very big story this week.
Big news.
Yeah. I don't know how this temporary turns to permanent, but I think it will be enough for them to resolve. I know they're still looking very much at trying to figure out how they're going to liquidate Chenzi's holdings out of that company.
That's going to be complicated.
Yeah, that's going to be complicated. So but I think this will give them enough time, and certainly it's good news for Altadis and all of Tabacalera USA as far as that goes. The new CEO comes in too, so I'm sure that's something off his plate as well.
Is it me or was this always just a feeling of like, I'll figure it out? It's not. I feel like it wasn't like.
I don't know.
I didn't know how long this would go. That was my concern. But I always felt that Altadis was doing all the this. They were kind of. This wasn't their fault, and I think they cooperated. Well. I think in the end they cooperated. That's why this happened.
Yep.
But this was kind of kept, this story kind of came out earlier in the week, and then it was sent to me yesterday afternoon. I was driving back home from Tennessee. And they haven't, there's been no official statement from Altadis or the factories, but this paper, El Confidencial, is pretty reliable as far as they've been on top of this story as very well. I think Half Wheel also did report it, John, yesterday too, when it came out. So
I don't know. I wasn't in the Half Wheel fanboy club yesterday. I had too much stuff going on. So
normally you are. But yeah, they saw. I mean, like I said, this. I tagged it as report, but it's sounding like everything I've heard. This is going forward. So it's good news.
There's big news.
Yep.
What else you got, Coop?
In the what I call one of the big soap operas in the cigar industry, the tariffs. There was another ruling on the tariffs by the Court of International Trade. They ruled against President Trump's 10% global tariffs, 2-1, which means those 10% tariffs that were imposed a few months ago following the Supreme Court throwing out the tariffs are now no longer valid. And this is most likely going to go through another appeals process by the Trump administration.
Sure.
So this isn't over yet.
I suppose I think if I understood the ruling right, I think the difference is that the tariffs can't continue. So usually when you wait for a appeal, the tariffs could continue. In this case, the tariffs can't continue.
They can't. Yeah.
Yeah, so they basically have to go through the appeal process to reinstate them through the appeal process. They have to be removed immediately as a result of the ruling.
They're supposed to refund the money too. Now, good luck with that. I'm going to say I don't know how they're going to do that.
Good luck with that.
Our importers already filed for it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you can file for it. It's just I don't know who's going to be writing checks at the end of that.
Yeah.
How do I file for it?
Right?
How do you file? That's shitty.
Well, listen, I knew that the cigar companies...
the excise tax coming in for the stuff we bring in.
I've been a little more sympathetic to the cigar companies here.
At the register for anything you bought, not just cigars. I'm
not talking about the cigars. I didn't pay that. That's the manufacturer to go back and get their money. We're still paid that. How much the stuff we import for the Great Smoke and all that shit.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about in general state. Right. Well, that's right. Especially that stuff. You didn't fucking price increase. That was just right. But I'm talking all of us, right? We all fucking paid higher prices for shit for tariffs. Now, who's getting the money back? Not fucking us.
It ain't going down. Welcome to the cigar industry.
Right. And not just the cigar. Again, I'm not just cigar industry. It ain't coming fucking down. If you survive, they had to jack their prices and people pay for it. They ain't fucking bringing them back down. Few.
Yeah.
Say few.
I'll be shocked if anybody does, to be honest with you.
Did anybody see? I don't know where I read this, but just on the other side of this, I saw an article and with the FDA where the administration actually put pressure to get the orange and mango vape flavors approved quickly. Has anybody else seen this?
No.
Yeah. So
I heard about I heard about this too. That's leading to the potential FDA commissioner losing his job right now.
Correct. Right. That's where I saw. That's right. Yeah, they streamlined to get orange and mango flavor for a company, for vape company through, even though they're not. But it's not being named. It's being called Emerald or whatever. But they literally pushed it through for a vape company.
What a joke.
Yep.
Crazy. What else you got going on, Coop?
All right. Our friend at Cigar Prop, Kevin and Jessica, are celebrating their 10th anniversary this year. And
marriage or Cigar Prop?
Oh, Cigar Prop. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, threw me off. I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
sorry
about that. Good
how is that cigar related news? But we'll run with it.
No. And they have a cigar. They're doing a cigar. And they're working with the FCT factory, which is the factory owned by Cavalier Cigars. And they have a cigar that they've worked on with them, 10th anniversary cigar, and it's gonna be a 6x54 Toro, and it's it features a Cigar Prop logo. I would say it's a Honduran forward blend is the best way to put it, and congratulations to them on that. They're gonna be selling that. They'll be selling that directly on their website.
Kevin will correct me, but I'm going to venture to say he 3D printed all his boxes too.
He did 3D. Yes, he did.
That's what I thought. Just looking at it, that looks like Kevin made all those boxes for those.
And Kevin is like the 3D guy. I mean, he really has kind of leaned in on it. He's done a good job with it. He just did new cigar props using the 3D printer as well. And, that's a big technology advance, I'll say. But you can buy them in 3 counts, 5 counts, and 10 count boxes, or 3 and 5 count packs, and then a 10 count box that you see there. It looks like, I think the pricing is, I want to say, they have $33 to $90 on the site, depending on how many you buy. So congrats to them. They're really
absolutely
10 years. And they do a lot. They don't just have the cigars. They have obviously accessories. They've built a very successful media brand. Obviously, they've been both have contributed to the show a lot in over the years as well. So congrats to them.
Kevin has a very successful boutique brand that isn't just cigars. Kevin is a boutique brand between his tools, literally he's making the cigar boxes in his garage with his 10,000. Yeah. That is printers that he sends run 24 hours a day every day.
I can believe it. As well. And he's I had his Grace O'Malley cigar, which actually was a very good cigar, the one he did as well. So so that cigar should be that's available right now on the website, so people can go get that.
Cool stuff. What else you got, Coop?
I got a couple of PCA stories to wrap up. First up, I want to cover this one because I think it's an interesting one. West Tampa launched a couple of new lines. One of the lines I highlighted this week is a line called The Barber Shop. And it's a box press line. and it's a line that pays homage to the barbershops in Tampa. You know, the kind of those old school barbershops that always served as gathering places, and we used to have some of them in New York growing up as well. So they always were kind of these neighborhood things. But this was kind of an interesting angle, I thought, with this, because there was a few.
This was a fucking miss. This was a miss.
Why is it a miss?
Because how the fuck do you make a barbershop cigar and not make a barber pole?
That's kind of where I was going with that. Like, first of all, how do you not do the barber pole, right? But he was trying to recreate, I think, Flathead with this, Rick Rodriguez. Namely, he went with a Connecticut broadleaf box press, and I think that was what he was trying to. Too. Yeah. So I think, but why wouldn't you make it a box press barber pole? That to me, that just seemed like it would have been. It would have been a natural. It would have been.
Might be good, but
yeah,
it would have been on par.
Logo.
Yep. But this is gonna be a regular production release as well, so definitely stay tuned. It's a reasonably priced cigar. It's gonna be between $10.99 and $11.99, so not a bad cigar. And we'll see what happens with it. But I agree with you, Alex. They should have did the barber pole.
It seemed like prime.
I didn't understand the reasoning because I had to talk to him about this because like Devil's Crab. I said, I really don't understand what the point of making a 50 count box is, right?
Because
it just kills your box sale.
Yeah, it's not a good retail.
That's been one of the bigger sellers too.
Well, hold on, let me finish, Coopster. Yep. I know it's your segment.
No, go ahead, Abe. I'm sorry.
No, because even if you like a cigar, committing to 50 all at once right now is a lot because I want to buy a little bit of this, I want to buy a little bit of that. It's hard. Yep. And I told them when they made the Devil Crab, they should have done 15. Sure enough, guess what it came out with this year, the trade show, right before the trade show?
That's a great smoke.
25 counts of Devil Crab.
Yeah.
Why would you do this now with Barbershop again?
No, Barbershop is a 20 count box. You're thinking of the other cigar they have.
No, Chef's. Yeah, I'm thinking Chef's edition.
Chef Rick is the other one.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They did it again with Chef's edition. Well, why would you do that again?
Yeah.
You know, I think they like the idea of testing it out with 50 counts and seeing if it's got traction.
Right. They say it's limited, but they said that Devil Crab was limited. To me, that sounds like it's ongoing now.
I don't know. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll have that cigar. Barbershop's coming in.
That'll be a good one.
Quick poll. Have you ever bought a 50 count box? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Just curious. I haven't.
Yep.
I've never.
I have never actually.
I've never bought.
I'm going to buy that Perdomo one though. I am going to buy that Perdomo one though, because that's a special.
I think it's a requirement of your sponsorship agreement. So
it is not. But the cigar is that good. It is not, but it's that good.
What else you got going on?
So I got one accessory for the week. It's a DuPont. I thought this was like one of the understated DuPont releases that I saw at the show. They have a new Legrand glider, with that diamond head finish, but it's all in black. And I thought this was really, the picture doesn't do it justice because when you see it was
a sharp lighter. I saw it.
It's a sharp looking lighter, and I would love to see them like do some of the other lighters like that. It's very sharp looking. And the Legrand is the one that has the soft flame and the jet flame. And this one does do the ping, by the way. I was told this one does the ping.
Gotta have the ping, man. Gotta have the ping.
They're not cheap. Legrand lighters are $17.95, and I'd like to see this kind of maybe trickle down to some of the Slimmies or something like that. Because it's
if they can get the ping figured out for the Slimmies, forget about it.
Like that's what they need. They need a ping on one of those, on one of the big ear to Slimmy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they want their ping on their Slimmies.
They may not.
No, I'm sure it probably waters down the line too in the Legrand, but I mean, that's their thing, right? And I agree. I think eventually you're going to have to because the market shifts towards the Biggie Slimmies. But man, if you get a ping on a Biggie, that's money, baby.
This is my Slimmy, but it doesn't.
I actually really like the all black Guilloche one, but that diamond is nice too. I like the all black.
That really was sharp looking. Yeah, that was like one of the they DuPont's a little different because they tend to do more like art and design at their releases, and they don't release a lot of new like lighters or cutters every year. They only did a couple this year. Really, that swivel one and the table lighter were the two they had. But this is really cool. I thought this was a really nice. This was one of the highlights I saw for sure.
It's very funny. You got a great community when you get called out by other members of the community, and then you end up being right.
What do you lie about?
The question. I'm assuming.
Oh, it's funny. He probably
He
said
must have answered no, he didn't. Gary calls him out.
Okay.
You lied. And he goes, "No shit, I did." That's when you know you got to tighten it. We know each other's buying fucking habits. God.
Yeah.
All right, well, just it looks like I'm gonna kill. It looks like 12-6. 12 no's. 6 people have.
What are six? What are the? I'd like to know. What?
Yeah. What are the six? What are the?
What are the 6 that you bought? I am curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess one of the Edge Connecticut's or one of the Edges, whatever this is.
They're 100. I thought those. But
I'm trying to think if there's anything like limited edition that came out 50 count box. That's like somebody's.
Do you remember the original Liga 9s way back in the day? Right.
I had one signed by Steve Saka. Yeah.
Right. I bought and I wasn't even a huge fan of the Liga 9s. I actually preferred the T52, but I bought that 50 count of 9s because it was kind of a first of all, I'm not getting my hands on 50 Ligas at the time is like, oh my God, I've won the lottery. And second of all, I'm like, well, 50 count's kind of a novel idea.
You know what I would buy if it wasn't like outrageous? Somebody had one. Remember the old giant Tatuaje box? Remember that one?
Yeah.
It's like,
I think we gave one away during COVID.
I think you did. You had one. I'm sure anybody that has that thing trying to sell them. It's on some. That would be.
I know who's got it. Probably Kyle Gillis.
Second.
I've seen some bundles on here.
Kyle Gillis.
AF Brevis.
He's won a lot of shit off us.
Yeah. AF Brevis. Okay.
I didn't even comment, but man, the number of Cuban 50 cabs that I bought over the years. I mean, forget about it. Too many.
I know a few people. Remember, John, when Jose Blanco did that Lancero?
Yes.
That came out in 50. I know a few people who did buy that box. Yeah.
Talk about the a bad combination. Lanceros is a 50 cab. Forget it. Well,
we told Seth and I told him he was nuts with that. So
yeah.
But
Papas Frias was 50, and then they went to 20.
Yes,
you're right. Good. Remember.
Yeah. And they were selling it 52.
Yeah, they were selling it 50.
Oh, Allison's got a really good one. Rothschild.
Yeah, that's what I said. Rothschild. I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
That's a good one, right? Because they were like $5.
Yeah, that doesn't count. They were easy buy in a 50 count. They were cheap and
right.
They
you
were
almost
great.
But what do Rothschilds look like in a 20 count box?
Yeah, exactly.
That is funny.
All right, that's what we got this week.
That it?
Yeah,
for more information and always up-to-the-date industry news, rumor, and teaser-free, please go visit our friend at cigar-coop.com. All right. What else? What we got left? We got
we got them both. Wait, do we have? I don't think I have. I do.
Survey says.
Yeah, yes, I do. We got everything. We got a tail. We got a would you rather.
Full meal deal?
So we see number 6. Are we reading number 6 on our list, or is our 6th one down?
Number 6 on the list.
Okay.
Number 6 on the list.
So we're closing out the bottom half.
Yes.
All
right.
Are we ready?
We're ready. Let's run. It's time to find out this week's Tail of the Tape.
All right.
Is it a deep sound?
It really is. It's very than what we're usually. I'm going to kick it off this week, and there's a reason I'm going to kick it off, and then I'll continue. But coming in at number 6 for me, this is very relevant to us. God, we probably mention it at least once a week, and not in a positive connotation, but vaping and e-cigarettes. Do I even really need to?
Man, I didn't take it out one. Yeah,
vaping and e-cigarettes. My number 6.
Why is it one of the greatest inventions? Just on sales?
Not even on sales. It's changed the way society operates. When I look at greatest, I look at like impactful.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's negatively impactful.
Negative or listen, you could say it's negative. Look, there's a million people that stop smoking cigarettes and rather vape will tell you it's positive. Now, I don't agree with them, but right. I don't. But you know what I'm saying, people. But as far as impact, vaping and e-cigarettes for sure. And again, it's something that literally did not exist in any segment prior to that. So wait, with that being said, no. Abe, pick a number between 1 and 10.
8.
Cooper, pick a number between 1 and 10.
1.
All right, Abe, you go first.
For picking our next segment?
You pick
For
it, yeah.
your pick. Yes.
Why did you do that?
I'll tell you, go.
All right. Fittingly, like perfect timing, mine was 3D printers, Mr. Shahan. The original purpose, I get it. The original purpose of 3D printing wasn't manufacturing, it was rapid prototyping to test designs quickly. NASA experimented with 3D printing tools and parts in space to reduce payload weight. Some 3D printers can now print, are you ready for this? Human tissue structures, laying groundwork for future organ fabrication. Crazy shit, 3D printing.
Absolutely. All right, Cooper, did he steal your thunder?
Let me guess.
So actually, Abe added some points that I didn't have on that, but I kind of put, it's kind of, mine was a 3D printer as well. And I think we haven't really seen the potential of this untapped. This is still untapped. This is
this is Star Wars going up to the food fucking terminal, making your fucking meal eventually.
That's what, this is huge.
Not Star Wars, Star Trek.
It's creating businesses. It's creating businesses now as well. And I mean, Kevin's leaned into it. And I guarantee you a lot more people are going to be leaning into it in the business. So,
if they can get away, because like you said, it was designed for prototypes.
Yeah.
If they can get away with it, making somehow, and I don't know how, more polished, refined versions that don't look so.
It's gonna get better. Like I said, this ain't going away.
It's gonna be a whole new fucking ball game, man.
No, I think when they get them faster is when we'll really start to see it take off. You know what I mean? Like consumer level.
But you're also limited to like, okay, you can make cool shit, but you can't make any really cool, nice shit. You know?
Right.
Like when I was trying to make the Greatest Showman Award, and where we gave all the manufacturers who participated in the Great Smoke for 20 years, I talked to Kevin because I didn't know, is there any way we could take something that you make and kind of make it nicer? Because even like the Saka Squatch crown that he makes for me in the giveaways at the end of Summer of Saka and stuff like that, they're cool looking, but they're lightweight, they're touched, the tangible feel is not there. And they could find, and it was actually Kevin who gave me the idea to talk to Matt Booth. He goes, bro, Matt Booth does that with metals. You need to call him. And that's who actually ended up making it for us. But I think if they could ever find a way to upscale the luxury or quality or the final outlook of the production, I think you got a whole new ball game of shit.
Yeah, like I said, I had put this on with more of the potential that this has. So, like, I thought maybe Abe, it's kind of funny because I thought you might say this is a little too high right now, but I thought 6 was reasonable for it, so that's good.
No, it's huge, man.
Yeah.
I gotta say too, I feel like this. Before we get to John, this was one of the harder ones to land two on the same. You know what I mean? To land both.
I am shocked that we both had it the same.
This is one of the harder ones to land like that.
Because we do not know what is on it. You're the only one, Alex. You're the gatekeeper, so yeah.
Right. I'm the only one that knows.
I never sent Alex my list, but I have all 10, of course.
The surgeon.
Yeah, so I won't. I don't know if we have time, but 10 through 7, I made Canadian inventions. So for number 6, it's a non-Canadian invention. Yeah, because that's what I do.
Give us 10 through 7 real quick. We can do it quick. Give us 10 through 7.
Number 10 was a Canada Arm
like that, and not give it to us.
Number 10 was a Canada Arm. It was a game changer for space movement of huge cargo. You can move 65,000 freedom pounds in 0G, which was an amazing advancement. CAD-PAT, which was digital camouflage pattern, adopted by the U.S. forces as MARPAT. So it was a game changer for digital camouflage for troops. So they could rapidly create digital camouflage on the go for new combat patterns. Number 9, this is a no-brainer. Alex will appreciate this one. 56K modem, baby. That was invented in Canada by Dr. Brent Townsend. That was a game changer back in the old days. Although the brand is kind of dead now, RIM BlackBerry. I mean, talk about iPhone, but without BlackBerry, there'd be no iPhone. And then number 7, the invention of the search engine for the internet was actually done at McGill University. It was Archie. That was basically the first search engine for the internet, and that was the sort of predecessor to Google. Number 6, because I'm a nerd, MRI, man. MRI scanners.
Last week. That came up last week, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolute game changer for soft tissue 3D scanning and diagnosis. Absolutely radically changed medical industry.
Cool.
Yeah, MRI was what? You were MRI.
Abe had that one.
I had MRI.
Abe had it. Oh. All right. Luckily, John will be back before it's over too, so he'll be able to give us.
Nice. Do you have a leaderboard or no?
I do.
All right.
Where is it? There it is.
Boom.
Nice. And I don't have any of those except for MRI.
MRI was
I start getting a little heavier now. 5 up, I start getting a little heavier.
5 up, I get a little heavier.
I've been pretty lighthearted.
Super Soaker is my favorite.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one. All right, we'll be back with the top 5 next week on KMA Talk Radio. And now in our normal closing, do we have a name?
Last one. We need more.
All right.
They messed up. They sent us a bunch, but it was all 3 of the same question.
You know what's funny is Ernie Watson was here in Vegas.
Oh, is he?
Well, he just went back, but he messaged me because he asked me nice places to go visit to eat, and I recommended something. I said, bro, it's like one of our favorite places. He sends me a picture that he's in the restaurant while I'm having dinner at our restaurant. We're sending food pictures of us having dinner in Vegas. And I was like, what are you doing here? I guess they're prepping for the Metallica concert or doing something.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, I told him, good job. Just don't forget to give me my tickets. Literally. So yeah, it'd be interesting. I really want to, especially I go to that concert, I want to know if they all put that same kind of effort, because I think to make it as experiential as it was for us last night,
You have to.
you got to put in some dedicated time if you're going to perform at the Sphere, making shit for the Sphere. I'll tell you a couple other things though. So one of the longest running shows in Vegas that my wife and I had tickets for twice. And when I say we had tickets for this like almost 20 years ago when you couldn't fucking get a ticket for the show 8 months out. Both times something happened. We didn't make it to the show after we already bought tickets. So our first day we went and saw this show. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. Have you guys ever seen Cirque du Soleil O?
Yes.
I have.
Fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah.
From the opening curtain call, it's not, the engineering is just as defying as the show.
Jaw-dropping.
They built, how it fucking works, the stages, the tank. 28 years that show was running, and we had like a little pre-show experience. We got to meet some of the actors. We actually met the strong man, who is one of the 2 people from the original fucking cast 28 years ago, who's still doing the show. It's kind of cool. And then tomorrow night we're going to go see Awakenings. We're supposed to be a new show at the Wynn. I've heard a lot of great things about it. So we had a very blessed weekend of some epic shows. So I'll let you know how Awakenings was. But I was just flabbergasted by O. If you've never seen it, man, it is breathtaking. Just the way the curtain goes up when the show starts was one of the most mind-boggling, breathtaking things I've ever seen. It's just crazy. Great show. Great show. All right. It's that time, brought to you by the fine folks over at Drew Estate. It's that time to find out, would you rather?
Couldn't tell if you were in pain or laughing. What happened?
I was yawning, man. I'm getting ready to go back to bed as soon as we're done.
Oh, it is fucking 8:45. All right, here we go.
Would you rather go to a tailgate party or the after party?
I'd rather go to the after party.
Hey!
There we go.
Interesting.
I'm an after party guy.
Yeah, me too. I'm curious of Cooper. I feel like Cooper may be a tailgate.
A tailgate party.
Tailgating 100%.
Yeah, I'm not into after parties. I am just
tailgates are just too early for. I don't want to party at
Let's
like
be honest.
11 o'clock.
Kind of parties. Come on.
I'm not into parties.
Well, I'm not into parties either.
I am not into. I am the anti.
I'm a little guy, man. I can't stay up for the after parties anymore. I'm too old for that shit.
John, who was the only guy who didn't go to the Black Label party with our teams this year?
Exactly.
I was the one. I stayed back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If it's Sunday at 4 p.m, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, but not. No, I was like, nope. No party for me. You guys have fun.
I think the only thing I'd want to go to a tailgate party is for a sporting event.
Yeah. That's exactly where my head's at, for sure.
That's about it. If it's not a sporting event, then definitely after party.
Yeah.
Couple of responses there. Oh, it was great.
So one thing I haven't been able to do, I saw an NFL game in Seattle, but I wasn't able to take part in the tailgate. And that I feel like I really missed out on the whole experience, not being a part of the tailgate.
So funny story. I'm sure you guys
tailgated wing bowl. I don't need
wing bowl.
I did the wing like 4 a.m.
You don't need to tailgate anything after wing bowl.
Yeah. I did.
So funny story. So to go to the Sphere, you could actually walk there from the Venetian. That's where I'm staying.
Nice.
So, and they got their own little walkway. You never even have to go outside. So it's pretty cool. But what's funny is to get there, you have to walk down the hallway.
The convention center. Yeah, the one
that Can I tell you I had PSD walking down that hall last night? I'm not lying.
Check your for the badge.
I literally told my wife, I don't think I've ever walked this carpet where my feet weren't pounding in pain. I was experiencing a little bit of PSD walking down that because no one would ever walk down that hallway unless you're going to the trade show, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, and am I crazy? Here's a great test because my wife and I were kind of debating. She couldn't remember either. If you had to guess what color carpeting that was going down the convention row, what color carpeting do you remember it to be?
Red.
Burgundy.
Yeah. Is it burgundy?
That's my remember. It's blue. So they must have fucking recarpeted the whole thing.
It must have. It stands out in my head. Yeah.
I literally was walking down that thing like, is it me or was this like red? And my wife's like, I don't think so. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this used to be red. Now I feel better. Now I'm confident.
So you walk down that long hall, and then there's kind of an angle to the right, and that's what takes you to the Sphere. I remember they were building that when we last show. Yeah.
Yeah, like we come around and we go to the convention center. It's like a new hallway. It just takes you all the way down the Sphere now.
Maybe we ruined the carpet with all the smoke. Maybe that's what
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it.
No, they wouldn't let us smoke there.
They would not let us smoke.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is how much more liberal they are smoking when the cigar convention isn't here.
It's weird, right?
It's true.
I've been smoking cigars everywhere, down that hallway. Nobody gives a shit. I guess when you have like 3,000 people doing it,
right. It's a little bit of a difference, yeah. Right. Yeah, I remember the last Circle Bar, and there was the big last hurrah of the Circle Bar. We smoked out the entire casino. Like it was out of control. Like there was a haze down to like your forehead level of cigar smoke. It was wild.
Yeah, that's probably why they're harder. Well, anyways, guys, glad I made it. Thank you for being here. Thanks for spending another Saturday morning with us. Big thanks out to Aaron from Vega Cigars again for coming on our show. And we will be back in 2 weeks to do it with you all once again. And hopefully we can make it. We see you then too. Till that time, my friends, keep it